we are going to build out a custom tab view in SwiftUI. And at the end of it, it will look exactly the one that you can see with the liquid glass. So before we jump right into it, if you want me to build an app for your business, go ahead and check out the first link down in the description or whatever. You can just see it right over here. Okay, so what we are going to build out today is actually this one. So, well, not just today, it's a two-part series. We're going to start building it out. It will be just a simple tab, custom tab view for today. It's going to be a lot of code, but in a week, also on a live, I'm just going to style it so it looks just like this. So it will just be with that liquid glass. And it will also work for light and dark mode. I know with a light mode, it doesn't really reflect that liquidity, so liquid glass effect, but on dark mode, it looks really, really nice. So what I have done is prepared a custom project, and here we have the content view. Everything is fine, as you can see on the canvas. It's just the end result. But what we're going to do is just start off from scratch in the main view. So let me just refresh this a little bit, and it just say hello world basically. What we do have set up is some dummy content so we can just see it a little bit better. And that is the feed view, the insights view, and the meditate view. So basically 3 tabs over here. So let's just jump right into it, and let's start coding because it will be quite a lot. And let's start by creating a tab item. Basically, this will be your custom built tab item view. It will be a custom view. You may add anything that you want right over here. So I'm just going to put it, well, let's just have a little bit more space over here. And I'm just going to put it right over here in front of our main view. So this will be a file private struct. So I just can use the my tab item view inside my project. Anyway, is the tab item view. So file private struct, and it will be called my tab item view. And by the way, you can just follow along and do your own custom tab item right now, and also the tab, a custom tab view. So we're just going to have a body over here. It will be some view. And what I'm going to do here is just have the default one. I know it could be customized to any shape and size. That's up to you. I'm just going to go with the custom one for now. So I'm just going to basically add in a vertical stack with a specified alignment of center. And then the content will be an image with a system name. And I'm just going to create a system named string, which we can just let me just copy this out and paste it in there. We are going to pass that along. So let system name of type string. Okay. And this will be a font of title. And then some text with, again, a constant of text with a font of caption. Let me just add that text so it's not going to complain. Let text of type string, okay, and I'm just going to add a padding of dot horizontal. Now this works really nice if you have 3 or at most 4 of these tab items, like the default horizontal padding. You might not want to add any horizontal at all. You will have to test it out, and we're going to do some tests also right over here in the canvas so you can see it better. Let me just center this. Okay, so that's our tab item view. Next up, we want to have a my tab item view, and next up we want to have a tab item view which is actually going to use this custom view. Let's just start right over here. This is the last, well, second and last custom view that we are going to do right over here. And it's basically, it's going to grab a selection, a tag, a proxy, and the content, which is, and which will be in our case, my tab item view with some custom system names and text. So again, a file private because I'm just using this same exact name convention inside the content view. So file private, not my tab view, but let's just call this tab item view. So basically this will be a reusable tab item view, and this is our custom my tab item view, just so you know the difference between those two. And this will have a content, and that will be of type view. So any type of content that adheres to the view protocol. Next up, we need to set up some variables. First of all, the binding. So a binding var selected. And I'm just going to go for an int value. Whichever is selected, we need to know, so we give a specific UI to it, you know, the selected UI for that tab item. Okay, and then let tag, so that would be also an int type. So we know, okay, this particular tab item is tagged with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. So we can check against the selected int value. And then we want to have a proxy, and that is going to be a geometry proxy. We are going to use this to make sure that the size is not going to exceed our screen size. I'm going to get there in just a second. And then the actual content, so that will be at view builder. So we can add in any type of view, var, content, and yeah, it will be a completion of content. Now, finally, one more thing, and that is the max height. You will see it in just a second when I compose the actual view, but we do need to have this max height to be a scaled metric, so not a fixed one. So whenever we are going to choose between the dynamic type of the device, we want to have it scaled dynamically. So at scaled metric var max height, it will be a CG float, and I just set it to 70. That's the default one, you know, the dynamic type of large. Okay, and finally, let's just take care of this complaint. We want to have a body over here, and I'm just going to add in the content right now, so it's not going to have any issues with that warning. Okay, so let's set it up. A few things. On the content, I'm just going to add a padding of 14. Now this is the padding around the custom view that you are going to add in. Again, all of these, well, not all of them, but some of them, you might want to consider tweaking to your own needs. Then a frame, so frame, max width. So let's just go with max width over here, and that will be our proxies dot size dot width divided by 6. So that is divided by 6 as the maximum width of our content, because usually you want to have at most 5 of these tab items, and proxies size width, you know, usually is just the whole size of the screen. Divided by 6 is roughly about that, so that would be our maximum width for one of these tab items. Next up, we want to set up also its max height, so dot frame, and that will have to do with the minimum height, minimum width, sorry, minimum height, exactly, minimum height, that will be 0, and then maximum height of that max height that we just set up. Again, it's a scale metric, so it will just change accordingly. Next up, we want to add in a foreground style. So foreground style, And yeah, it's kind of doing its thing. So are we selected or not? So if the selected equals to the tag, I'm just going to hit tab over here, but it's not custom mirror or secondary. It's just going to be a color of accent color. So color dot accent color. Usually that's what you want. And for the secondary, if that's what you want. So if the selected color, if the selected number is the tag, then you just go with the selected color as the accent color in this case, or the secondary. Please, again, choose whatever color you want for the foreground color, and the selected one, unselected one. And then on tab gesture, what do you want to do when we tap on this particular tab item? Well, we want to change the selected to the tag. So we're just going to, set the new selected one. That's why this is a binding. Okay, now those are the two prerequisites. You want to go for the tab item view kind of exactly like this, with a few tweaks on the color and maybe the padding over here. And then this is full custom, whatever you'd like. Again, take a look at the padding depending on your needs. Finally, we are going to construct our tab view, our custom tab view at the bottom of our bar. So this is where it is going to be showing up. Currently we just have a hello world, but we are going to just replace this with the actual three views that we have. Remember, we had a feed view, the insight view, and the meditate view. So first of all, we want to have, well, we're going to do that on the Z stack. So I'm just going to add the Z stack over here. So we're not going to add any errors. And we do need to track the selected one. So at state private, private var selection, and that will be of int and 0. That's fine. Or you can just choose another int if you want a new, a different view to be presented, a different tab to be selected when your app loads. Okay, so we just go through the selection. So right over here, we just go switch and then selection, come on, selection. And we have a bunch of cases, but we also need to have a default. This is an int value. So on the default one, we are just going to present a empty view. So if the selection is none of the cases that we are going to set up over here, we're just going to present an empty view. You could also present kind of a content unavailable view if that is the case for you, but empty view is fine for now. So case 0, we are going to add the feed view. Case 1, we are going to add in the insights view. And case 2, we are going to add in the meditate view. Okay, and let's just move this right over here. Okay, so now, as you can see, it's just jumping into, let's just have the main view. It's on the feed view, and that one is just going to present a list of meditations right over here. It's going quite well right now, but if we just change this to 1, it's just going to go to the insights view, and again for the 2, it's just going to jump to the meditate view. So let's just go back and set the selection to 0. And what we want to do basically, these currently are actually scroll views and all of that, but if this were just a simple VStack, then it would not expand to the whole width and height to your device's screen. And therefore, we want to add a frame on this Z stack. So we want to make sure that we can put the actual tab bar at the bottom of your screen, not just the V stack or whatever text or just small view that you have on that particular case. So we're going to have a frame and max width infinity and max height infinity again. So yeah, that's great. So After we do that, we are going to add an overlay on the whole Z stack. This is where it gets quite fun. So we're going to have an overlay. We don't care about the actual alignment because we're going to use the whole thing. We could just set the alignment to the bottom, but it doesn't really matter because we are going to add a V stack, and then with a spacer, we are going to push it all down. Let me just show it to you. So first of all, we need a proxy. Now that with the frame is the whole size of the screen, we actually know that the proxy's size is the screen's size. So this is great. So GeometryReader with the content, we're going to have a proxy. There we go. And next up, we are going to have that V-stack that I was talking about, and the spacer that is just going to push everything down. After that, we want to have a horizontal stack with a spacing of 0. Come on, that was actually okay. So spacing of 0. And what we want to do is just squeeze our tab items as much as possible to the center. That's how it should be basically, and that's how it's prominently displayed with the new glass effect and all of that with the new tab view from SwiftUI. So what we want to do is just add right over here a spacer first with a minimum length of 0. Let's duplicate this. And then between those two, I'm going to add a new horizontal stack. So this will be actually the tab view. I'm just squashing it in, but inside the tab view, we also need to have a horizontal stack to lay out those tab items horizontally. So a new horizontal stack, let's just see. Yes, so again, we are going to have that spacer with a minimum length. So let's just put it over there and over there. So on the horizontal stack, let's just take care of some padding and some background. This is the actual view that you can actually see. So we're going to have a padding of 4, so it's not all the way to the sides. But again, this, for example, this padding can be adjusted by you for your needs. And then let's just have a background. And I'm just going to go real simple for today. This video is quite long as it is already. I'm going to add the glass effect in the second part of the series. So for the background, I'm just going to go for ultra thin material. This is where we are going to really play around with the glass effect next time. Okay, so that's our background. It's really nice. And now it's time to add, oh, before we move on to the actual tab item setup, I want to also set on the geometry reader, actually, I want to set the dynamic type size to be .large. What that does is whenever the user changes the dynamic type of their device, this particular view, actually the tab view, will always inherit only the large one. And that makes, you know, uncomfortable UIs, like really large and really small UIs for the tab view, only for the tab view, really comfortable, because you don't want really large and really small ones adjusting to the preferences of the user. You just want to have this large one. If you know, go ahead and comment this out, and yeah, just select the dynamic type over here and see how wrong it could get easily. Okay, so next up, we want to have that inside the horizontal stack, our tab item view, this one. So we want to have as much or as little, as many tab items used as you want. So tab item view. And as you can see, we have the one with the selected tag, proxy, and content. Let's just choose this one, max height. Let's just choose the default one, so that's fine. Selected. So we want to bind the selection tag. First one is 0. Proxy, we just pass along the proxy, and here comes the content. Now, the content is the my tab item view with the system name. Our first one would be house, and then the text would be feed. And that's it. Now, as you can see, it's right over here. It is selected, so the foreground style is actually blue. And yeah, that's it. What I'm going to do is just copy in the two others. So let me just grab them from my notes over here. There we go. And paste it after those, after the first tab item. So let's hit Control I to indent it. And as you can see, we have 1, 2, and 3 tab items. Let's just see. Oh, it's not selected right over here. Selected and selected. Okay, just a quick change over there. And yeah, as you can see, now we can just jump around between these, and it's really, really nice. This is what we create as a custom view. Now you can play around with this. You might want to remove these spacings with the spacers, and that will result in not pushing all of it to the sides. Go ahead and experiment. Now in the next video we are going to move even further, and we are going to give our custom tab view some liquid glass touch, which will be really, really nice. It will look kind of exactly like you have it with the tab view, built-in tab view from SwiftUI, but the beauty of it is that it's not exactly like it, and it has a lot more features. It's customizable. It's your very own custom tab view, and that will be I will cover that next week. Till then, if you want me to build out your business apps, maybe with a custom tab view, go ahead and check out the first link down in the description.